The leader of the Wagner mercenary group in Russia has made a strong declaration, vowing to take extreme measures to overthrow the country's military leadership. This statement comes shortly after the Kremlin accused him of participating in an armed rebellion. Yevgeny Prigozhin announced that his Wagner fighters had crossed the border from Ukraine into Russia and entered the city of Rostov-on-Don. He emphasized that his men would not hesitate to eliminate anyone who opposed them. Meanwhile, the local governor urged citizens to remain calm and stay indoors during this tense situation. Welcome to Slant News. If you want to support, you can subscribe to our channel. Prigozhin further claimed that his forces had successfully shot down a Russian military helicopter that had allegedly attacked a civilian convoy. However, the precise location of the incident was not provided, and the veracity of his assertion could not be immediately verified. The Wagner Group, known as a private army of mercenaries, has been fighting alongside the regular Russian army in Ukraine. Tensions have been escalating between the Wagner Group and the Russian military due to disagreements regarding the conduct of the war. Prigozhin has been openly critical of Russia's military leadership in recent months. On Friday, the 62-year-old leader of the mercenaries accused the military of launching a deadly missile strike on his troops and vowed to retaliate. However, he failed to present any evidence to support his claim. In response, authorities denied any such strike and demanded that Prigozhin cease his illegal actions. In an audio message posted on the social media platform Telegram, Prigozhin emphasized the need to stop the evil within Russia's military leadership and proclaimed his determination to fight for justice. He warned that anyone who resisted would be considered a threat and eliminated, including at checkpoints and aviation facilities. Prigozhin clarified that his actions were not intended to interfere with the regular troops in any way, emphasizing that presidential power, the government, the police, and the Russian Guard would continue to function normally. Russia's President, Vladimir Putin, has been receiving constant updates on the situation, according to his spokesperson. Security measures were intensified in Moscow, focusing on prominent locations such as government buildings and transportation facilities, as reported by Russia's state-owned news agency TASS. Additionally, the governor of Russia's Lipetsk region urged residents not to travel south. Lipetsk is located approximately 280 kilometers, 175 miles, northeast of the nearest Ukrainian border and more than 500 kilometers north of Rostov. Igor Artemanov, writing on Telegram, mentioned that security measures in the Lipetsk region were being strengthened, particularly to protect critical infrastructure facilities. In response to the unfolding events, the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense stated that they were closely monitoring the situation. The White House also expressed its monitoring efforts and noted its intention to consult with U.S. allies. Gen. Sergei Surovikin, the deputy head of Russian forces in Ukraine, whom Prigozhin has previously praised, appealed to him to halt the convoys and return them to their bases. He emphasized their shared identity as warriors and cautioned against playing into the hands of the enemy during these challenging times for the country. Another senior commander, Lieutenant Gen. Vladimir Alexeyev, described Prigozhin's actions as a betrayal against the country and the president. Russian state media reported that the Federal Security Service, FSB, had initiated a criminal case against Prigozhin, accusing him of inciting armed rebellion and attempting to instigate armed civil conflict within Russia. The FSB allegedly urged Wagner fighters to disobey his orders and take necessary measures to apprehend him. In response to Prigozhin's claims of Russian strikes on Wagner camps, Russia's defense ministry released a statement dismissing them as false information intended to provoke and deceive the public. These recent developments follow a video message in May where Prigozhin stood amidst the fallen bodies of his troops and criticized Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov for failing to provide adequate ammunition to his forces. He asserted that the war in Ukraine had been orchestrated to elevate Shoigu to the rank of marshal. Prigozhin's bold statements and actions have intensified the already tense situation between the Wagner Group and the Russian military. As the conflict between the two factions escalates, there is a growing concern about the potential impact on the stability of the region. The Russian government, including President Vladimir Putin, is closely monitoring the situation. Security measures have been heightened in key locations across Moscow to ensure the protection of government institutions and transportation hubs. The governor of the Lipetsk region has also taken precautions by urging residents to refrain from traveling south. While tensions rise, neighboring Ukraine is keeping a watchful eye on the events unfolding in Russia. The Ukrainian Ministry of Defense has stated that it is closely monitoring the situation. The United States, as well as other allies, has expressed its concern and is closely following the developments. Within the Russian military itself, there are divisions emerging. While Prigozhin has criticized the military leadership, some senior commanders, such as Gen. Sergei Surovikin, have called for unity and urged Prigozhin to halt his actions. This internal strife poses a significant challenge to the cohesion and effectiveness of the Russian armed forces. In response to Prigozhin's actions, the Russian Security Service, the FSB, has launched a criminal case against him, accusing him of inciting armed rebellion and attempting to instigate civil conflict within Russia. The FSB has called on Wagner fighters to disregard Prigozhin's orders and take measures to apprehend him. As the situation continues to unfold, the veracity of Prigozhin's claims and the potential impact on Russia's internal stability remain uncertain. The Russian government is determined to maintain control and preserve the functioning of its institutions, emphasizing that Prigozhin's actions do not constitute a military coup. The coming days will reveal whether this conflict will be resolved peacefully or escalate further, potentially leading to severe consequences for the region and beyond.